Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Business Transition Roadmap. Today, we have, I think, what's an exciting episode for you because we have Andrea Carpenter here with us. And throughout our podcast, we've been periodically posting up an episode on our transition, our personal internal transition of the transition strategists. So anyway, today what we are going to be doing is talking a little bit about that, but we also are going to be talking about more exciting things like our new Evolve program and what we're doing there. And just this is something that we have been working on since Andrea really first started. We've been talking about this Evolve community. And so I thought a little update on where we're at and the progress, and then really dive into the Evolve program and what's going on there. And for me, it's, I think, an example of how bringing on a successor can really add energy and value into the company. So that's what I want to focus on today. So anyway, Andrea, thanks for being here again today. It's great to have you.
Yeah, excited to share a little bit more about all the things we've been working on because I feel like we've been so busy lately.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have to tell you that, when you bring on a successor, I think that everybody around you thinks that your life is supposed to slow down as an owner. And really what truly happens is your life increases. The flywheel starts moving quicker. The momentum comes in because you've got this amazing new energy in the business. And so, busier than ever. And really, though, with all good and exciting things. So, Andrea, how about from your perspective, since our last time that we talked to the audience, what has been going on with our transition and how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's so funny because when people ask, I'm like, it really is so meta that I'm a successor in our business and also helping other people navigate the same. I was mentally prepared and I had seen us work with other families, right? So, there's lots of feelings and things that you're going to be thinking about and difficult challenges and things that you think might be easy and actually end up being a little bit harder. And all of those things have come to be very true. And even so, I'm still shocked at some of the things that I thought would be easy for me and have been harder for me than maybe I anticipated. And so, it's been a really exciting time and a lot of leadership growth. And I think something that we've been working really hard on is kind of a little bit of a shift in our business model so that we can really help serve our clients in a better way. And I'm just excited to share that with everyone today. I think we could probably do a whole episode on how our transition is going. And if that's something that's interesting to you, we're happy to talk about those things. I talk about a lot of those things on my podcast, Your Next Gen Friend. And really, that's just, there's a lot that goes on and it's kind of an ongoing, we always say it's a journey. It's something that's going to continue going forever. Probably even when I'm more involved or you're less involved and whatever that looks like, things are always shifting and always changing. And so that's why we're really excited about Evolve. So maybe there's a little bit of a segue into just introducing this Evolve program. I know Elizabeth has talked about it before. I talk about it sometimes, but really just we wanted to tell you a little bit more about how this actually works and how it helps in a transition. And we can relate that back to our own transition as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Because, going back, one of the things that's important, I just got off of a different podcast, but one of the things I think that's important is to have a business go forward and hopefully thrive forward and do more than what you can do as just an owner. So this Evolve program that we've put together and have launched, which we've been talking about it for months and months, and we've had starts and stops on it and everything else. But the Evolve program that we have is incredible. And it's sort of, in a way, a dream come true because my goal is to help as many business owners as we possibly can walk through transitions well and help their successors learn and grow and help the business stay healthy and, really have what you would think of as a dream transition where you're happy with your next adventure. And it's sort of a win-win-win on all fronts. That's the big deal. And so to me, this evolve is really, really incredibly wonderful because it allows for a business owner to affordably come in, do their work, do it in a shorter period of time, and have their needs as far as implementation covered. So, Andrea, I would love for you to give your version of what the Evolve program has in it and the 3 pillars, and just tell everybody about it because I'm so excited.
Yeah. And from a successor perspective, you might be like, well, maybe I know for sure I want to come into the business, or I don't know for sure that I want to come in. And really, it's a safe space to explore all of those different things. Like, you might think something's going one way, and there's really just a lot that we have to put out on the table. I think you and I talked through so many different factors when we were deciding, like, it's a big decision to decide that you're going to take over someone's business, or for an owner to decide that they're going to let someone else become the steward of that business and start to take pieces of it forward. And so that's really a lot what this is about. We say 3 pillars of our work. The first is, like, what are all of those things and discussions that we need to have? Like, we need to start laying those things out on the table so that we can have discussions about them. A successor who has an assumption or an idea that something is going to happen at a certain time that doesn't align with the owner, or an owner thinking someone wants to come in or is ready or isn't ready, those things can be really detrimental to your business and also to your family if you're not talking about them. And so that's why we really love to start with an immersion, which just helps your whole family or your business partners and you come together and just, I'll call it, lay everything out on the table. Why do you want to transition? What exactly are the assets? Who are we trying to take care of? When do we think things are going to start to happen? Because there's role transfers, there's strategic decision transfers, there's equity transfers. So we want to just start having high level discussions about all of those different things. We also bring in, like, what's financial components. That's obviously a piece of it. So for an owner who's leaving, do they know what their numbers are and as they need to get out? For a successor who's coming up, like, what's their capacity to buy in and start to think about those things? And then we can actually get into the mechanics of the transition and start to draft a timeline. So really at the end of those 2.5 days that you feel confident, prepared, and ready to start having more conversation. So it's not really like you leave and then you have an exact plan. That's the thing. There's a lot of stuff we have to sit and think and continue to talk through. So that's really why our second pillar is implementation support. It really varies business to business and family to family, how long people need to stay engaged. Sometimes it's 6 months. Like, we just need to finish working through the plan, make sure we've had all the important conversations, that everyone is taken care of. But sometimes it's, we have clients who have been with us 3 to 5 years. Because, like I said, for Elizabeth and myself, my experience is so many things are changing so fast. There's always something new that I need to kind of get feedback and support on. And then lastly, kind of that third pillar, my favorite pillar, for those of you that know, I kind of have a background in facilitation and really this idea of peer learning and collective wisdom. And so for you to not feel so alone in the transition, whether you're the person leaving, whether you're the person coming in, it's an isolating thing. Most of your friends are probably not in the same situation. They're not going through the same thing. So it's hard for them to relate. So really a space for you to come, get questions answered, talk with your guide, and most importantly, talk peer to peer with other people who are also navigating transition as they go through. So that's a super high level overview. Elizabeth, I want you to fill in any gaps or things that are important for people to know that I might have skipped over.
No, I think you hit all the 3 pillars. And, just imagining if you're a person that's thinking through this evolve, that you really get to come in and do an immersion program so that you have a direction, you have a strategy forward. And I was just having a conversation earlier this morning that literally, starting and starting, even if you're not ready to transition and you don't have a successor and you don't even know anything about what you want, that's the place to start. It's okay to start there because when you have a strategy forward, when you have that foundation from which to move forward with, you can discover along the way. So I was just saying to another lady earlier today that it gives so much peace for you to know as an owner what direction you want to go, kind of a time frame of how you might get there. So if it's 3 years, oh gosh, in 3 years, I'm going to find my successor and I'm going to look for them. And if I have to, I'm going to advertise for them. And in 5 years, I'm going to see if I can get them as into it being an owner. And in, 10 years, I think I'm going to be ready to leave. That's not an unusual timeline. That's an okay timeline. And you do not have to know what you want before you start the process. What this whole process is about is discovery and exploration and helping to go through it's a framework that helps you to easily find what you want. A big deal when you're wandering around thinking and your head is spinning. So anyway, the immersion program, when you think of Evolve, that immersion program is really cool. And then there's a lot of work to be done afterwards with other advisors, but also things like governance and governance, invitations to invite your successors in, navigating their response and their reception of it. And then trying to integrate in things like tax and estate and financial well-being and their financial well-being. And if the company can afford to do what you're thinking of. And there's a lot of work to be done with that. And so all of that support is there to help you navigate for as long as you want it. So I'm loving this. The community's awesome. And I've been a facilitator for about 30 years, and it's a big deal to have a team and a peer group that you can really bounce things off of. So it's awesome. Yeah.
And for a successor, if you are invited to kind of participate in this, it's also making sure, like, is it actually something you want to do? Is coming up into the business your vision, or is that because you think someone else wants that for you, or you're going to let someone down if you don't do that? And those are really important questions for you to answer. Those aren't the only things, obviously, that you would cover kind of in that initial process. And in terms of the implementation support, while our owners are working on how do I give invitations, how do I have conversations, successors are starting to navigate how do I be a better manager, how do I be a better leader, how do I start to take ownership off of other people, how do I evaluate what I'm good at and what I'm not, because the types of roles and the things that the previous owners did might not exactly be your skill set. And there's going to be shifts in the way that the company works and manages. And that's a lot for you to also think through. So just know that, you wouldn't be alone. And the process is really designed to support everyone as they navigate that transition so that the business and the family and everyone stays together and happy on the other end of that.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, people will say, oh, well, that can't happen. You can't have a business transition with, relationship and family harmony. And we have proof that it is possible. And if you have enough time and you think through it well enough, that it absolutely can come true.
Yeah. And I also want to say what potentially makes this program different from other advisors, other companies, your CPAs, your attorneys that can help you start to think about succession planning is it's very focused on the people and what's important to them. That's what's going to help you feel really successful going out on the other end, whether you're the owner or the successor. We're one of the few firms that really truly focuses on transition, and we are not taking a percentage of your deal. So you go to a business broker, you go to an investment bank, at the end of the day, there is some financial motivation. I like to believe humans are good humans and they want what is best for you. But truly in our work, we have there's no financial win or anything for us on the other end. And your decision of how you want to transition, what you want to do, if you decide to sell, if you decide to transition, if there's some other creative thing that you come up with, that's amazing, because we are not going to financially benefit from you deciding to go one way or the other from the process. So I just wanted to put that out there, because there's a lot of decisions that you can make on who to kind of engage and work with. And we can just be one advisor, help you come up with that. What is that strategy or that direction we think we're going to go? And then we can help you engage with your attorney, with your CPA, with your other advisors to actually make a plan that aligns with all the things that you said are most important. This is really valuable. It helps you step in, and hopefully it would save you a little bit of money on the other end too, because you're going in to those other advisors that are really charging by the hour to draw up documents and all of those other things, and you have a clear idea of what you're already trying to do and how to move forward. So
yeah. It's so important and so rewarding. The other thing that I think makes us different is, over the years, since I've been doing this for so long, all of the intellectual property that we have, we use, we don't license from anybody else. So all of this is proprietary to us, and it's all been tested and proven for many, many years. So it's pretty exciting. Again, the work that we primarily have done it's been with larger, bigger, more complicated businesses, and this, we know it works. And so it's fun to be able to bring it in this Evolve program to the regular, wonderful business owner that is out there every day working away. Because, and this is just me, but I know that our country is so reliant on all of our private businesses. And we all know that there's this massive wealth transfer that's going to happen because the owners are aging. And it's just important to our communities that we get those businesses in the right hands and that they continue forward. It's a big deal for all of us.
It is. Yeah. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, well, is my business even a fit to start to go through this? There's not really a business that's too small.
No.
You can invest in yourself and your employees, and there's more, right, than just what happens to you and your financial windfall. It's taking care of your people. It's taking care of your clients, whether you're employee first, client first, however, family first, whatever kind of that value system is that you're carrying. We want to make sure that as you move towards your next adventure, that you're able to honor that and, just really move forward in a way that feels super good to you. So we've worked with businesses as small as $500,000 a year top line revenue, and we have businesses that do over $100 million top line revenue. And the way that we engage you, we're talking a little bit today about Evolve and the Immersion. And if you're a bigger family enterprise and there's more than 3 people, we want to work with your family one-on-one to make sure that we're really taking care of every person and we can hear everyone's stories and you don't feel rushed kind of in a group setting. But for businesses where there's 2, maybe 3 people involved in the transition, you get along. It's not super complex, but it feels complex in your head because it is, because there's a lot to sort of untangle there. Those are the type of people that are a great fit for our group immersion. So that's also bringing that peer learning into that immersion setting. So we're coming right up on time, but I quickly just wanted to describe what it looks like for you when you join the Evolve program. So we would love to hop on a call and learn more about your business specifically, because we can make specific recommendations of exactly like which entry point into the program would be best for you. But when you join, you pay your deposit, and then we want to get started right away. There's kickoff calls, there's personal interviews with everyone who's participating. We're going to do IMAP assessments, which we'll probably do a whole nother episode that we'll link about the IMAP. That is an assessment to help you really understand your natural wiring, your strengths, how you like to communicate. It's a great foundation for your class. There's a little bit of other pre-work. I would expect 4 to 8 hours of pre-work before the event. Then you actually attend the immersion class. That's 2.5 days. Most of them we host in person at our retreat space in Fort Collins, which is just a really great escape to come to the mountains, get out of your day to day, and really just like put yourself in a space where you can focus on this. And then once you graduate immersion, we'll work with your transition guide to really figure out what resources, what tools, what types of coaching. Is it your whole group staying together? Do we need to work individually with each person? Are we giving invitations? So what's that work that comes next that's really customized to you? And then it moves into more of a monthly engagement from there. So if that's something that's interesting to you, I invite you to learn more and book a call with our team. That's transitionstrategist.com/discovery. And we'd love to talk with you. So Elizabeth, I said a lot of things and anything that you want to add in terms of an invitation for people to join us?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would say is please be brave and please explore. It's really easy to do that. And worst case is, that we exist for a future time when you might, when the time might be right. But it's great to know your options. Big believer in that. And so, yeah, just a big invitation to you from us to just explore and see what's going on in your world. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. Thanks for being here, Andrea, and thanks for joining us, everybody. This is so important in our world, and I'm glad that you were here today. So thanks.